Namaskar, viewers and listeners of the Great Game Reloaded. I am Tilak Divesha. The November 2025 US National Security Strategy, or NSS, could reshape geopolitics for the next decade. It is not a flashy document, not a moral sermon, not a lecture on democracy or human rights. This time, Washington has dropped the pretense. No poetry, no idealism, just hard, cold, strategic math. The message is clear. America is reprioritizing and recalibrating. This is not the old America that wanted to police the world. This is a different America, one that wants to secure its economy, reassert and enforce the Monroe Doctrine to restore American preeminence in the Western Hemisphere, contain China, stabilize Europe, and make the rest of the world pay its share. So let's decode the NSS. What does it say about the Western Hemisphere, about China, about Russia, about Pakistan and Afghanistan? And most importantly, where does India fit into this new American worldview? Let's get started. The old American playbook is gone. Global leadership, out. Open-ended commitments, out. Cleaning up the world's mess, definitely out. Instead, the NSS is built around 5 concentric priorities. Priority 1, fix America first. For years, the US washed its industrial base hollow out while China surged ahead. Now Washington has realized that great power competition cannot be fought with a weak domestic economy. So the NSS focuses on reindustrialization, energy dominance, oil, gas, nuclear, supply chain reshoring, tariffs and trade enforcement, technology, insulation from rivals, prevent and discourage mass migration to the United States. Translation: America wants to rebuild its economic muscle. Priority 2, reassert American preeminence in the Western Hemisphere. Assert and enforce a Trump corollary to the Monroe Doctrine. Deny non-hemispheric competitors the ability to position forces or other threatening capabilities or to own or control strategically vital assets in the Western Hemisphere. Translation: the US wants to assert dominance in this hemisphere. Priority 3, China, China, China. China is not just a competitor, it is the threat. The NSS wants to block Chinese access to critical technologies, build military denial capabilities in the Indo-Pacific, strengthen coalitions, prevent Beijing from rewriting maritime borders, and avoid dependence on China-based supply chains. Translation: Washington is preparing for the long-term systemic competition, not a short-term standoff. Priority 4, Russia. Dangerous but not central. Russia appears but in smaller frame. The US sees Moscow as a nuclear danger, a regional spoiler, a destabilizer in Europe, but not the existential threat China represents. The NSS calls for a stable end to the Ukraine conflict, preventing escalation, pushing Europe to take the lead in its own defense. Priority 5, burden sharing. Whether it is NATO, the Middle East, or the Indo-Pacific, the NSS carries one message: don't expect America to do everything. The US wants allies to spend more, deploy more, act more, rely less on American firepower. This is a world where America is still powerful, but not willing to pay everyone's bills. Let's talk about the big one, China. 3 pillars define the US approach. 1, economic. Decoupling where it hurts. The NSS openly admits that integrating China into the global economy was a strategic blunder. So now Washington wants to block technology flows, secure rare earths and critical minerals, build trusted supply chains, reduce vulnerabilities to China. This is not mild decoupling. This is targeted economic containment. 2. Military deterrence in the first island chain. The US will deter China through forward deployed forces, interoperable alliances, joint exercises, maritime denial capabilities. The goal? Make any Chinese attempt at force, whether in Taiwan or the South China Sea, too costly to consider. 3. Coalition building. Washington wants regional partners to form a network around China. That includes Japan rearming, Australia integrating deeper into the US defense systems, the Philippines giving basing access, and India playing a far greater strategic role. Which brings us to the question, is India ready for this role? India isn't just mentioned in the NSS, it figures across multiple chapters. Why? Because India checks every American box. A large democracy, a counterweight to China, a major economy, a key Indo-Pacific actor, a partner without treaty baggage. Let's break it down. 1. Economic and technological cooperation. The US wants India to be a manufacturing hub, semiconductor partner, supply chain alternative, critical minerals partner, and a market that balances China. Washington sees India as essential for rebalancing global value chains. 2. Security and Indo-Pacific strategy. India is a pillar of regional deterrence. The NSS expects India to support maritime stability, promote freedom of navigation, strengthen naval presence from the Indian Ocean to Southeast Asia, integrate more deeply with Quad initiatives. 3. Diplomatic architecture. India is positioned as a regional influencer, partner in Quad and Indo-Pacific Economic Framework for Prosperity or IPEF, bridge between the global south and the west, key actor in Indian Ocean diplomacy. Washington does not see India as a follower but as a system shaping power. This is opportunity, but it is also pressure. One of the most consequential shifts is the downgrading of Russia in American strategy. For India, this creates a diplomatic corridor. The US is no longer obsessed with countering Russia everywhere. Washington recognizes Europe's military advantage. The US wants an end to the Ukraine conflict without pouring in unlimited resources. What does this mean for India? India can maintain arms supplies from Moscow, spare parts, energy deals, diplomatic coordination, and the old defense partnership. But the risk remains. If Russia slides deeper into China's orbit, India's room to maneuver could shrink. For now, however, Washington is willing to tolerate India's Russia policy, but only up to a point. What does the NSS say about Pakistan and Afghanistan? In one sentence, they are no longer priorities. Pakistan appears only in the margins, mostly in the context of counterterrorism, nuclear risk management, and regional stability. Afghanistan, meanwhile, is treated as a lesson, not as a priority. The NSS commits no troops, no reconstruction, no nation building, just intelligence driven counterterrorism. This effectively pushes Afghan stability into the hands of regional powers, including India. So, what should India do? The NSS gives India opportunities but also challenges. Here are the options. Option 1. Deepen partnership, keep autonomy. India should expand cooperation in maritime strategy, AI, and dual use technologies, supply chain security, defense co development. But maintain autonomy in Russia ties, Iran connectivity, domestic manufacturing priorities. Option 2. Use economic convergence to build capacity. India can leverage US investment and technology to modernize industry, boost semiconductor production, and upgrade strategic sectors. Option 3. Avoid overextension on China. The US may expect India to take harder positions on Taiwan. India must prioritize the Indian Ocean, not stretch itself into East Asia risks. Option 4. Keep Russia as a strategic buffer. India needs Russian energy, arms, technology, and diplomatic balance against China. Option 5. Expect episodic US pressure in South Asia. Washington may, from time to time, use Pakistan, Bangladesh, or even Nepal as signaling tools. India must stay ahead diplomatically and set clear red lines. The NSS offers opportunity, but it also contains risks. 1. US domestic volatility. A change in administration can flip commitments. 2. Strategic over-expectation. The US may push India to sanction Russia, take sides in Taiwan, or limit Iran ties. 3. Economic leverage. The US could use trade policy, technology controls, digital standards to shape India's decisions. The 2025 US National Security Strategy is not just another policy document. It is a statement of American priorities in a multipolar world. For India, it brings more influence, more responsibility, more expectations, and more room to shape outcomes. But it also requires discipline, strategic discipline, to say yes where interests align, to say no when autonomy matters. America is repositioning, China is rising, Russia is recalibrating, Pakistan is receding, and India, for the first time, is being treated as a pillar, not a partner of convenience. The world is getting sharper, coalitions are becoming tighter, strategic choices are becoming unavoidable. The big question for India is, how does the NSS square up with the tariffs already imposed and those that are threatened to be imposed? Time will tell. I am Tilak Divesha. Thank you for watching. Do like, share and comment. Namaskar and Jai Hind.